Hi MOVATI, my name is Sue and welcome. This is Hatha Yoga today, and thanks for those of you that have tuned in previously to some of my Hatha Yoga sessions. And if you're just coming for your first time, welcome. We're going to be focusing on hips today. If you have a block, please bring it to your mat, or if you don't have a block, feel free to use a pillow or a rolled up towel, something to help support you in some of the postures. And once you grab your equipment for your class today, just come on and join me on the mat, have a seat, and we'll get started. So let's just start in a cross-legged position. If you want to sit up on a block or a pillow to get your hips higher than your knees, it opens up the hip flexors and hamstrings. So feel free to do that, or just sit on the floor. We're sitting nice and tall. Just come into some centering and then some breath work, and then we'll get right into the asanas. So let's just sit tall, lengthen the spine, and if you want to just lower your eye gaze or close your eyes, feel free to do that. And just come into your space, noticing the temperature in your room, noticing the sounds, the energy that's around you. And then start to bring your awareness inwards. Checking in, how are you feeling today? What's your mood? And let's start to breathe in with focus. So let's breathe in through the nose, let the breath travel down in front of the spine and fill the belly, letting the belly rise with breath. As you exhale, the belly comes down, breath travels back up in front of the spine and back out through the nose. Nice, deep belly breath. Known as diaphragmatic breath. And this breath is beautiful because it starts us to relax. Change from a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state. So going from that fight or flight response to a relaxed state, letting go. So the more we breathe deeply into our bellies, the more we're sending a signal to the brain to switch off. Allowing to lower our heart rate, lower our blood pressure, oxygenate the organs, detoxify the body, all this with that deep belly breath. And as we start to breathe a little deeper here, seeing what we can let go of through your face, through the jaw, the shoulders, the hips, fingers and toes. And just starting to move into Durga breath or three-part breath. So I'd like to breathe into the belly, nice deep breath down into the belly, let the belly rise. And bring the breath up into the rib cage. And think about breathing in 3 dimensions, front, side, and back. And as we exhale, let the ribs contract, let the belly come down, and let the breath travel back up in front of the spine and back out through the nose. Let's just do a couple more breaths just like that, into the belly and into the ribs, and then from the ribs back to the belly and back out through the nose. Noticing where that breath is coming and going. Let's focus on that exhale. Let it be twice as long as the inhale. A beautiful, gentle release out, seeing what we can let go of with every out-breath. On the next breath in, I want you to fill the belly, fill the ribs, and then bring the breath right up into the chest, right up to the clavicles, right up to the shoulder blades. As we exhale, chest comes down, ribs contract, belly comes down, breath travels back up in front of the spine and back out through the nose. Let's do that again for a few more breaths here into the belly, ribs, chest, chest, ribs, belly. 3-part breath. bringing lots of oxygen into the body, opening up all the channels, reducing or removing any blockages that we may have so the energy can flow. Let's do one more. Belly, ribs, chest, chest, ribs, belly. And when you're done that, just come back to your belly, nose to belly, belly to nose. And when you're ready, lift the eyelids or flutter the eyes open. And let's come right into Baddha, butterfly. Feet come together. And I'd like us to start with the sit bones down and lengthen through the spine. Hands come to the feet or the ankles. And perhaps the knees can just have a gentle flutter up and down the wings. Just a little encouragement to those hips to open up. So as we start to work on the hips here today, I want you to know that as we open things up there, we're not just trying to create space physically, but we're also opening up emotionally. We carry a lot of fear and anxiety in the hips. So trying to let go of anything we're holding on to emotionally there as well. Keep the breath flowing down into the belly. And just slowly start to let the legs come back to a rest. And letting the knees get heavy as they gently open up. Maybe the heels can draw in a little more now. And as we practice today, just listen to your body. Everything I offer today is a suggestion, but if you've got any injuries or anything you need to take care of, please do so and make modifications if needed. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we go through some of the asanas today. Let's extend the legs out. A little stretch for the front line of the body. Bring the hands behind, right underneath the shoulders. If you want to bring one knee in for support, feel free to do that. Lift your pelvic floor, squeeze the butt, breathe in and lift the hips, lifting the chest to the sky, squeeze your glutes, eye gaze up to the ceiling, opening up the heart and chest. And gently letting the hips come down. Let's bring your left leg in, extending out the right leg. Flex your foot, breathe in and lengthen. And as we exhale, we're going to tip forward to head to knee pose. Janu Sirsasana. So starting to open up those hamstrings here, the back. Stay with the breath and soften. So it doesn't matter how far we come forward here. Just come to your natural edge and see what the body's going to give you here today. Try not to force anything. Try not to push yourself to be anywhere. What comes natural for you right here, right now? Inhale and rise. Take the hand around the ankle, bend the elbow, or you can bring the peace fingers around the big toe. Let's take the left hand up, reach up and over, revolve, look through that armpit, revolved, head to knee pose. Pavrita Janu Sirsasana. So just opening up the side of the body now. Inhale and rise. Let's place that left hand beside the hip. Let the right hand rise. Push the hips forward. Make sure your wrist is right under your shoulder here. This is half circle. And the upper arm is loose. A little bend in the elbow. Relax your fingers and eye gaze comes down. Let's have a seat. And gently switch legs, letting the left leg extend, right leg comes in. Breathe in and lengthen your spine, exhale, and gently soften over the left leg. Again, not having any expectations, just seeing where the body is going to allow you to come today. Breathe and allow. Where can you soften? Inhale and rise. Left hand comes to the ankle or peace fingers around that big toe. Let the elbow soften. Breathe in, let your right hand rise. I'd like you to revolve. So as we revolve, think of that lower torso or rib cage coming around. Upper arm reaches up and over. Little bend in the elbow. As we revolve, look up through that armpit and just breathe and soften. See if we can breathe into the right side of that rib cage as it's exposed here. Gently come up, let your right hand get down, left hand reaches up, push the hips forward, up and over into half circle. Eye gaze comes down, feel that beautiful stretch through the side body. And gently let those hips come down. Good work. Let's come right up onto the hands and knees for cat and cow. So the wrists are under the shoulders, knees under the hips, eye gaze is down. Lift your pelvic floor, draw the belly in, and release. So breathe in, let the belly drop down, lift the tailbone, look up. And as you exhale, let's round the back, drop their pelvic floor, draw the belly in, tuck the chin in, support the spine, and then release, let it go. Belly drops down, nice deep breath in, little gaze upwards. Exhale and round, applying the bandhas. Pelvic floor, belly button and chin. Suspending the breath. And then release. Let it go. Let's do that one more time. Rounding the back. Lifting up the belly. Release and letting go. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let the right hip come out now and look towards your hip. So head and hip come towards each other. Working the spine laterally. Come back to center. Breathe in. Exhale and the left hip comes out. It's a little C shape in the spine here as we breathe. Inhale. Exhale into the right. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale to left. Let's come back to center. Bring the knees wide, feet together. And take your left hand, reach through to the front. The right hand can extend or it can wrap behind. Wide leg child's pose with a twist. Lots of breath here as we're opening the hips. And just a little twist for the torso, the spine. And also working through shoulders. So beautiful asana. What can you let go of right here, right now with your breath? If your hand is behind the back, place it back onto the mat. Push yourself up. Keep your legs where they are. This time, take the right hand, reach through to the left side. Shoulder comes down, head comes down. And if your head can't come down on the mat, feel free to use a block here for your head and give you a little bit of support, right? Or a towel, if that feels good for you. Left hand can reach out or it can wrap behind the back, whatever feels good for you here today. Breathe and allow. Nice deep belly breaths. Where can you soften? Let that hand come back to the mat. Bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. Let's take your right foot forward. If you want to double up your mat here, if your back knee's a little tender, feel free to do that, or put a towel under your knee. The knee is over the ankle, where we're going to come up and place the left hand to right thigh. We're going to reach out. All right, you can let that hand wrap if you like, or reach. If you want more here, you can tuck the back toe underneath, lift your hip, let the elbow come across, hands together in prayer, and look over your right shoulder. If you're up on the toes, I want you to push through the heel, lift that kneecap, and get some power in that back leg. And just breathe. And release that twist, come back to center, hands come down, knee drops down. Let's switch to the other side so that your knee is right over your ankle. Front foot and back knee are hip distance apart. You can roll the mat on the opposite side to protect your knee. If you want to use blocks here, so feel free to have those blocks to support. You can take a little weight off that back knee if that helps you today. And this time, right hand to left thigh, left hand reaches out or wraps. If you want more, let's tuck that back toe under, lift the knee, push through the heel, elbow comes across, hands together in prayer, and looking over your left shoulder this time. Keep your focus and stay with your breath here. Let's come back to center and let that back foot step forward, and let's come into a nice forward fold. Feet are about hip distance apart here. Letting the neck and shoulders release. When you're ready, slowly roll yourself up. Draw the belly in, squeezing the butt, letting your head roll up last. Bring your feet together. Toes are slightly apart. Breathe in, let the hands rise. As you exhale, let's sit right into the heels and chair pose. Shoulders draw down the back. This is Utkatasana. Breathe in. And as we breathe out, let's just come over to the right side, letting the right hand rise. A little twist here for the spine. And slowly rise, letting that left hand come to right hip. Lift your right heel. Keep the hand reaching back if you want more. Let the leg lift and find the outside of the leg. So a little bit of balance here with a nice spinal twist. Slowly let that leg come down. Breathe in, reach high. Reach for the heavens. Exhale and sitting into those heels. Let the shoulders come down into the back pockets. Breathe in. And as we exhale, a little twist here to the left. Reaching high, looking over left shoulder. Inhale and rise. Keeping that left hand reaching back. Lift the left heel, right hand to right hip. Or if you want a little more, lift the leg and find the outside of the leg. And slowly let that leg come down and back to center. Let's come to the top of our mats. We're going to go right into sun salutation. I want you to think about breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, throughout. Let's take a nice deep breath in, reaching tall. Exhale, sit into those heels. Utkatasana, breathe in. And as we breathe out, little fold all the way down. Step or jump your feet back into a high plank position. Shoulders right over wrists. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take the right foot, spring forward, left foot turns out, inhale and rise. And let's come into Virabhadrasana 1. Shoulders draw down, focus your eyes somewhere in front of you. Set an intention here to be strong and powerful. Let's push a little weight into that back foot. Feel the ridge of the back foot in the mat. Front knee is right over the ankle, tracking second and third toes. Keeping your focus. Stay with your breath. If you know Ujjayi breath, use that breath here, also known as ocean sounding breath. Inhale, straighten your front leg. As we exhale, reach long, and we're going to revolve the arms. You can come high or low here. Think about the lower ribs coming around, a little revolution of that spine and the rib cage. Trikonasana, triangle, also known as three-angle pose. Opening hips, opening heart center, and reaching for the sun. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Draw the belly into support. Maybe the eyes can be straight. Perhaps they can look up to your top hand. Let your eye gaze come to the floor and let that hand drop down. And we're just going to come right into pyramid pose. Going to lift the back heel so that your feet are straight ahead of you. Folding over that front leg. If this isn't good for you today, use your blocks here and come up a little higher. All right? Lift your back heel, front foot steps back. We're going to go right into our plank position. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, rise and shine. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, left foot springs up to left hand, right foot turns out. Inhale and rise, and we're right into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Let's open the toes and really feel grounded here today. Nice deep belly breaths as we just relax the shoulders downwards. Let the eyes come out now, past your front hand, and have your focus. Breathe into the belly. Maybe we could come a little deeper here. Get some power in that back leg by putting some weight in that back foot. Straighten your front leg, breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to just reach out and then revolve the arms. We can come nice and high here if you like, or if your hips will allow, let the ribs come around here and reaching up in Trikonasana. Beautiful open position. All right, opening those hips and shoulders here, opening your heart center and Hatha chakra. Squeeze those inner thighs, engage your legs. Let that hand come down. Lift your back heel, let's square the hips, and just fold over that front leg. Pyramid pose.
Getting that nice stretch into that hamstring in the front leg. Front foot steps back, right back into our plank position. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, rise and shine. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step or jump your feet up into that forward fold. Sit into your heels. Come right into Utkatasana. Breathe in, push to the feet and rise. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands to side in Tadasana. One more round with a little more, so let's breathe and go. What's your body going to give you here today? And let's fold all the way down. Step or jump your feet back into that high plank position. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot springs up. Right hand, left foot turns out. Come on up and sink in. Let's focus our attention now. Eye gaze forward. Breathe in. As we breathe out, let's sink a little deeper. And as we do, notice if the body's starting to warm a little bit here. As we have more effort, wade into that back foot. Let's straighten the front leg, breathe in. And as we breathe out, reach forward and then revolve the arms. High or low, your choice. Triangle. Reaching for the heavens here. Nice deep breaths. Let the top hand come to the floor and folding over that front foot. Just keep that back foot where it is this time. As we just fold and soften. Breathe. And as we're here, now perhaps your right hand can reach up as we revolve. Revolve triangle. Let that hand gently come back down as we fold. Back heel lifts up, foot steps back, and we're into our high plank position. Come down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, open the heart center. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, left foot springs up, right foot turns out. Come on up, and let's settle in. How's everybody doing out there? Are you staying with your breath? Just checking in. Just feel that energy flowing. Front knee tracking towards your baby toe now, so it's not buckling in. Breathe. And let's straighten that front leg. Inhale, reach long. As we exhale, revolve the arms. Again, we can be high here or low, your choice. Try not to round your back. If you feel your back's rounding downwards, come up a little bit. Feel free to use a block here if you like. It can be very helpful if you can't get low. Right? Gives you a little more stability. Breathe and allow. Let that top arm come back down to the floor. Again, keep your feet where they are and just fold. Let go. Trying to keep that front leg straight if you can. Perhaps the back hand now, left hand can rise as we revolve and look behind us. Stay with your breath, keep your focus. Slowly let that hand come down. Front foot steps back. We're into that high plank position. Forward and down, lower ourselves halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step or jump your feet up to your hands in your forward fold, Uttanasana. Push through the feet, let the hands rise. Push up, exhale, hands to side in Tadasana. Beautiful. Hopefully you feel nice and warm, the blood's circulating the body. We're ready for balance. Balance is one of the first things that start to leave us as we age, and it's really important we practice balance every day. I want you to find a place where you are, where you can focus all your attention. A point of concentration, also known as your drishti. We're going to start with a nice balanced posture, opening hips. So your weight will come into your front foot. You can have your left foot come across with the knee bent, just opening hips here. So if you want a little more, you can bend your standing leg and let the leg come up a little higher. Let the hands rise. And as we exhale, we're just going to sit into the heels and open the hips. Keep your focus. If you want more, let the hips drop a little deeper. Maybe hands can find their ways downwards. Just go where it feels good for your body here today. And just soften and breathe. The most important thing in balance is your focus, your gaze. Place to keep all your concentration. If you're all the way down, start to gently make your way back up. And push through that standing foot and rise. Let the other foot come back down and come back to Tadasana. Good work. Let's switch to the other side. So bring your weight into the left foot. The right foot can cross over. If you want a little more, let that foot rise. Bend your standing leg. Breathe in and let the hands rise. And as we exhale, we'll start to bend that standing leg. Stop where it feels good for you. Perhaps you can tip from the hips and let those hands gently come downwards. Keep your focus, stay with your breath. The one thing I love about balance is it makes you stay present. Stay in the moment. If you're all the way down, gently start to make your way up. And gently come all the way up. Let the foot come back down to the mat. Hands to side in Tadasana. Beautiful. Let's bring the feet wide. Toes turned outwards. Inhale, and as we exhale, bend your elbows and let the elbows open and come right into goddess pose. And as we start to sink, working into those quadricep muscles, opening up those hips, stay with your breath. Radiating your energy outwards. Perhaps we can lift your right heel. Let that heel come down. Maybe we lift left heel. Let that heel come down. Maybe we can lift both heels or not. Your choice. A bit of balance here. Let the heels come down. Push of the feet and rise. Reach up. Exhale, hands to side and come back to Tadasana. Beautiful. Let's go right into the hips now. Let's bring the feet wide. Let the hips sink down. Hands come into your heart center, elbows into knees. Malasana, right into squat. Some options here. You can come up a little bit higher. You can use a block here if you like, right? And if you're wanting to go a little bit lower today, let the legs come wide and come right into a wide leg child's pose. So I'd like you to go where your body wants to go here today. In squat,
The elbows are inside the knees to encourage opening the knees. The hips drop low and the chest rises to lengthen your spine. So try not to tip too far forward here. Try to lengthen spine as we sit in and allow the hips to get heavy here. Breathe deeply. If you want a little more, let the right hand come down and let the left hand rise and look over your left shoulder. Reaching for the sun. Takes a little bit more balance here. Hand comes down, this time left hand down, elbow stays inside the knee, and right hand can rise, looking over right shoulder, or just stay where you are in center. Opening up through the shoulder, reaching for the sun, and just breathe. Coming back to center, hands into your heart. Push to the feet and rise. And come back to Tadasana. Beautiful. Let's come to the top of our mats. Let's breathe in, let the hands rise overhead. Exhale, come all the way down to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, let your right foot step back, and then the left and come back into downward facing dog. Going right into pigeon, lifting that right foot. We're gonna bend the knee and let the heel come towards your left shoulder, just opening up the hip here in three-legged dog. Come up onto the toes. Let that foot come through on that diagonal to the left hand. Let that left leg lengthen out. Option here is to use the blocks. If your hip's bothering you a little bit, feel free to put a block underneath your right hip or perhaps a pillow or a towel. Keep your foot flexed to protect your knee. Breathe in and lengthen. Exhale and slowly come down, forehead to the block, or perhaps it comes all the way down. Pigeon pose is a beautiful hip opener, using your body weight, gravity in your breath to really start to get into that hip joint. So let's breathe into the nose, down into the belly, ribs, and into the lower back here. A nice three-dimensional breath. And as we breathe, seeing what we can let go of through our face, our jaw, the shoulders, the fingers, the toes. If this is not feeling good for your body today, a nice option for pigeon is to sit on the right hip and bend your legs at 90 degrees. You could also lie on your back and cross your right leg over the left and open up the hips this way with your back supported. So I'm giving you these options because I know everybody's got different things going on with their bodies today, and I want you to find something that can work for you where you can feel the same kind of result of just opening that hip. Now as you're here, notice if your sit bones are parallel to the floor or is one hip sort of dipping downwards. If one hip is sort of dipping downwards, I'd like you to square your hips off. The reason for that is I want your spine to be straight, right? That nice straight spinal alignment. 3 more breaths here. Let's walk the hands in, tuck the toes under, lift the hips, push back into downward facing dog. This time, left leg rises, bend your knee and let the heel come towards your right shoulder. Come up on the toes, left foot comes across the diagonal towards the right hand, and this time the right leg lengthens out. So the knee is on the floor on top of the foot,
Your options, of course, sitting into the left sit bone, bending the legs at 90 degrees, or lying on your back, bending your right leg, let the left foot come across. Feel free to tuck a block underneath the hip here. Just a little support if you need it. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, finding your way down and seeing what we can let go of. A lot of participants will put some weight in their shoulders by staying up on their forearms here. And you're going to notice that you're going to carry a lot in your shoulders. So if your head can't come down to the floor, a pillow or a block to the forehead helps you free up your shoulders. So please feel free to use that option to help you let go. So the focus will be in your hips and not in your shoulders. If you're uncomfortable right now, you're right where you need to be. If you are in pain, you'll need to move. Please listen to your body and go where you need to go today. Being uncomfortable allows the body to grow. 3 more breaths here. And let's gently walk the hands in. Come up onto your hands and knees. I'd like you to take your right leg and cross it in front of the left and let your feet come wide. And when you're ready, sit back into your sit bones. If this is too much for your knees or hips today, take your bottom leg and straighten it out and come into half cow face pose. Big hip opener. So the big thing here is finding those sit bones so you're grounded and you're not lifting up. If you're lifting up, extend your bottom leg. Let's breathe in, lengthen spine. Let the hands come to the bottoms of the feet. And as we exhale, just tipping forward, allowing the belly and chest to come to the top of your leg here. And I love bringing the hands to the bottoms of the feet because it completes the circuit in the body so the energy can flow and circulate. Perhaps let the head drop so the neck and shoulders can soften here. And just breathe and soften and see what your breath will give you today. This is all about letting go. Our bodies habitually want to hold on. So just focus on the breath and encourage the body to open, relax, soften. Three more breaths here. Inhale and gently rise. Beautiful. Let's uncross the legs. Come back onto the hands and knees. And this time we're going to bring the opposite leg in front. Feet come wide and sit back into those heels. Again, extend that bottom leg. If your hips rising and you can't get both sit bones down and you're not comfortable in this pose, or if it's too much for your knees or hips, beautiful option. So once you find those sit bones, let's ground them and lengthen spine. Let's breathe in. And as we exhale, we're just going to fold over the knees here and soften. And maybe notice if there's any difference on this side, or is it the same? Notice where the body has things we need to work on. One thing about yoga, because we spend a bit of time with our breath, we notice any imbalances we may have, and maybe if you notice an imbalance, you may want to spend a little more time on that side, nourishing it with breath. Three more breaths here. Inhale and rise. Let's gently open the legs. Let the feet come wide, knees are bent. Going right into turtle. A nice option with turtle is to sit up on a block or a pillow, because the first part of the turtle is coming forward. And if you're having a hard time coming forward, sometimes when you get the hips a little higher, it's a little easier to get that movement forward. So feel free to use whatever props you have at home to get the hips a little higher. So let's breathe in a lengthened spine. As we exhale, let's soften and just come forward. And again, I don't want you forcing your body downwards. I want you to just soften and relax and see where the body is going to take you here. We can stay right here. Or if you want a little more today, let the hands come in behind the heels and let the elbows soften, and just gently bring the chest towards the earth, finding your natural spot where the body will just stop. Whatever that edge may be for you today. And lots of deep breathing to encourage the body to let go just a little. Maybe you can let the head go by softening through the neck and shoulders. Let's do 3 more deep belly breaths here. When you're ready, let the hands come back to center and walk yourself in.
All right, so from one amphibian to another, we're going to move from turtle to frog. Again, beautiful hip opener. You can roll your mat on each end if you like here. That'll double up your mat, so it's a little easier on the knees when you widen your stance. If you can, flex your feet and come onto your elbows when you're ready. If the feet can't flex here, if you got anything going on with the ankles, feel free to let the feet go where they will. And as we're here, I'd like us to do some PNF stretching so that we can fully relax into the groin, because you may want to be holding on here. So I want you to breathe in, and I'd like you to squeeze your butt, draw the belly up, squeeze your inner thighs, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And as we exhale, let's soften, maybe a sound as you let go. Let's do that again. Let's breathe in, squeeze your butt, squeeze your inner thighs, draw the belly up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale and soften. What can you let go of here? Let's do one more. Inhale, squeeze your butt, squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Exhale, let it go. Now where we can soften here and allow, just breathe. A beautiful stretch for the hips, working the inner thighs and the groin. Just gently breathe here and see where the breath will take you.
2 more breaths. All right, are you stuck? All right, to get out of this one, bring your feet together, then your knees together, then your feet and knees, and coming up onto your heels. Good work. Let's come into a nice core asana. Navasana, boat pose. Find your sit bones. I'd like you to let the heels, toes touch the floor, and let the hands come under those hamstrings. Instead of rounding your back here, I want you to lengthen your spine right up to the crown of the head. Let your right foot rise. If your sit bones can balance, let the left foot rise. Maybe you can straighten those legs out a little more, draw the belly in, and perhaps let the hands go. So lots of options with this one. Eyes are focused, lengthening your spine, drawing in that core, lift your pelvic floor, engage. If your legs start to shake, that's all good. That's strengthening your nervous system. Good work. Let the feet come down. Let the heels come in towards your buttocks. Wrap your hands or your arms around the shins. Bring the belly into the thighs and let's lengthen your spine. Good work. Let's slowly bring ourselves back down to the floor. I'd like you to lift your hips, the left side of your mat. Let your left leg cross over your right. Let the arms come out to the side with the palms facing up. Breathe in and let the knees come into the chest. As you exhale, let both legs come to the right. Lift your head and look to the left. So your head is looking the opposite direction of the legs. Blocks can be very handy here. You can let them block come under your legs to support them so you can really let go. If crossing your legs isn't available to you today, uncross them. Maybe put a block between your thighs that helps support your back, or just bring your knees and feet together. So I have lots of options again with twist. The big thing here is that you're not holding on to something, right? If you feel like you're holding on, you'll need to use some props or back off a little bit. So nice deep breathing here. Opening up the back. Bathing in your breath. This spinal twist just helps to reset your spine. Three more breaths. Let the shoulders draw down and back and soften. Uncross your legs, bring your knees and feet together and come back to center. Let's lift your hips and bring it to the right side of your mat. Take your right leg over the left. Breathe in, let the knees draw into the chest, and as we exhale, both legs now gently come over to the left side. And turn your head, look away from the bent legs, down your right arm. Use the blocks as you need. This is all about the breath. What can you let go of here? Where can you soften just a little more? Nourishing your spinal cord with your breath. 2 more breaths here. Uncross your legs, bring it back to center. I'd like to bring the bottoms of the feet together and let the hands come down, relax the shoulders. So we're just encouraging for our last time to let those hips open up a little bit here. And when you're ready, let both legs extend out and come right into Shavasana. And I'd like you to be in a position that feels comfortable for you. So if the back's bothering you a little bit today, feel free to bend your knees with the feet apart, knees together. Or if you want, you can lie on your side with your head on your arm. And just stay there with breath and notice how you feel. Notice your mood. Has anything changed from when you first arrived at your mat? So let's bring the breath down into the belly, that nice big diaphragmatic breath. And let's really focus on that exhale. Let it be twice as long as your inhale. And when you breathe out, where can you let go? Through your face, your jaw, the shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, fingers, toes. Letting the breath explore the body now, nourishing from head to toe. If your body needs a little more nourishment, I encourage you to stay right where you are and take as long as you need today. Otherwise, bring one leg into the chest followed by the other. Let your arms wrap around your leg. Give yourself a nice big hug. Maybe a gentle rock side to side. Little massage for your back. And when you're ready, slowly start to make your way up to a seated position. Take your time finding your way up. Coming into a cross-legged position. Thank you for MOVATI for offering this beautiful practice today. I appreciate you all joining me. My name is Sue, and thanks for coming today. Let's bring our hands into heart center. Bowing the heads. Peace be with you. Peace be with your family and your friends. Peace be in all that surrounds you. Namaste.